All right, what's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 different things that I've added to my truck since I've owned it. Some of these things I definitely really like. I think all of them I really like. So maybe this will give you guys some tips out there just in case you would want to add something like this to your Tundra. Now, this is the 2nd Gen Tundra, not the 3rd Gen Tundra. If some of you guys have been watching my channel, I did have a 3rd Gen Tundra. My engine locked up and I was just having too many dang recalls, and I got this 2021. So, all right, first thing on the outside, I did put these fender flares on. I probably maybe would not have done that, but the rims that came on this thing, my tire stuck out quite a bit and I didn't like it. So I put them on and they covered up most of my tire, how it stuck out. And it does look kind of nice. It makes my truck look a little wider. I just hope it doesn't rust out underneath. I'm gonna maybe take that off in a year and check it. And I did put some protective film under there. I do have a video on how I did that. So that's my first thing I did. Then I did put in recently, and this video will be coming out. I don't think it's out yet. I did put this floating screen Pioneer stereo in, and it's nice because I have a little compartment down below it, and it does have wireless Apple CarPlay. That's one thing I did miss from my 2022, and now I have it in my 2021. That thing works flawless. I love it. Along with that, I did put a 8-inch subwoofer, a Rockford Fosgate subwoofer that fits right behind my back seat back there. I will have a link to that video in the description too. And I put this little container, or this little storage bin here, that just fits right on top of there, and it gives you a lot more nice little compartments to put all your stuff in. Way nicer. Oh, here's an extra thing. I forgot about this. Let me get this out. This does pull out. I do have my little jumper box thing I got. You can, instead of having jumper cables, you can just use this, and I don't know, you can start a car or truck like, I don't know, 100 times or something like that. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but that thing is quite awesome. And I did put this Revolver X4 back here. I really love this tonneau cover. There's no seams. I didn't have to cut out any little spots in the corners of my bed to drain it, and it rolls right up. See, it rolls up like this, and I can use my whole bed. It rolls up right to my window. Pretty much gives me my entire bed where I can use it. And then there's straps right somewhere here. Oh, there's straps right here that you strap it down with. I did add some tint to the front of my truck. I think that is 30% tint. It's not as dark as the back, but I did add that tint, and I like that. My last thing, I just did this. I just put that under seat storage in here, and I did do a show in the video, a couple extra tips on how to put that in. This thing is definitely probably one of my favorite things. I think it cost a little bit more than it should, but I did show you how deep all that foam goes, because that was one thing I was trying to find out, is how deep the foam goes underneath here, because there is other ways you can do this a lot cheaper with, like, I will put a link to that video in my description. It's to another guy's channel. He puts like baking pans under there or something, and I don't think it looks as nice, but way cheaper. This thing is not very cheap, but I will have a link to this down in my description also. Actually, I have so much room. There's like more room over there. This is all just a raincoat. Really probably doesn't have to be there. But my seat fits right on top of that. My boys are putting spots all over my seat because they drip crap. I think I need to get some nice seat covers. If you like any of that stuff, I will have links to some of these videos on like my stereo, my fender flares, to anything I just talked about. Or if it's something you just want to buy, I will have links to that down in my description and my first comment. And if you want to see how I put that storage under my back seat, continue watching. All right, first thing we got to do is get the storage container out of the box, because you don't want to try to cut your template out with it in there, because you're going to end up cutting it. So we'll pull that out, and we can take it out of the plastic, because it does come with some directions. But you're not going to have to read the directions, because I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to try something I have not seen anybody else do when installing this. Let's get this out. How in the world? And I do recommend if you're using the utility knife, which I am going to use this to cut my carpet, have a brand new blade in there. It looks shiny. I will have a link to this down in my description if you want to buy this. And I'm gonna try to find it again. I did find another YouTube channel that made some storage under their seats a different way with using like baking pans. There was a couple things he didn't show in that video, so if you do want to try to do this a lot cheaper than this, I almost did it that way. I'm going to measure how deep the foam is so you will know exactly how deep you can get for a different depth pan. This is supposed to be good for a 2014 to 2021 Crewmax, and that's going to be nice. I almost went the cheaper route, but sometimes it's nice to have a YouTube channel, and these videos kind of help me to do stuff like this, so I ended up going the more expensive route. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching all my videos. It really does help me to keep making more videos, and I really want to thank the guys that are out there subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that, and if you can't subscribe to my channel, just hitting that thumbs up button does help me out. So thank you very much. Yeah, the depth of these are, looks like they're about 3 7/8 of an inch deep. Whoa, they're different. This one's 3 7/8. This one is 4, maybe about 4 1/4 deep. What's this one, 4 1/4? Yeah, this one and this one are both 4 1/4. This one's not as deep. I think because some of these trucks have wires in the middle one. So I got to be real careful cutting when I cut this middle one out. And this is like, say, 10 by 9 3/4. That's the same. This one is 13 3/4 by 10. I'm going to open this box up. When I cut stuff like this against a straight edge, you're almost pulling your utility knife along that straight edge. You're almost kind of feeling like you're turning your knife into the straight edge. Because if you try to go exactly straight, sometimes you veer right off. So every time I pull, I turn just a little bit into, just a little, and it keeps it really straight against that straight edge. There we have it. It's all done. All right, next step, I would recommend maybe taking your floor mats out, just vacuum the back of your truck out, remove all the stuff that's in there because you're not going to be able to cut a hole in there for stuff in your way. And another tip, take your seats and move them all the way forward. And I leaned my back of my seat all the way forward, so it gives me some room in there. Now I'm going to put my template in here. All right, I have some duct tape. Once I get this all lined up, I'm going to tape it to my seats here so it won't move. This one sits a little different. Hope it goes around that. I think I'm going to take a little risk, and I have a little space here because I laid this on top of that storage container, and this I think is a little wider actually, the width of what that is. So I think I'm just going to leave it away from them, maybe 1/4 of an inch. I don't know, it's kind of wanting somewhere to put my umbrella. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe. I'm going to tape it on. Now I have a gold Sharpie. I'm going to draw my squares on here where I got to cut this out. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now it does say for the 20 and then, well, it says for the 2020, be careful, there's wires under here. Now, I'm kind of guessing it says for the 2020 that has a push button start. Now I have a 2021 that has a push button start, so we'll see if there's wires under there. So 2020 and 2021, I think you got to be careful if you have push button start. You can take this off. Oh yeah, look at that, you can see that good. Throw that aside. I shouldn't need that anymore. Now there's my squares. We'll see how it goes cutting this one out. Just cutting right on that marker. Oh yeah, that ain't that hard. That works good. Actually, the part of the blade I'm using, I never really used yet. I only used that tip, so. Cuts like butter. That ain't that bad. You might have to touch up your corners a little. It's easy. You don't want to mess up there's like padding or insulation under here. Don't mess that up because we're going to put that at the bottom of this hole. That's really not that hard, just as long as you have a brand new blade in there. I'm going to cut these other two out. All right, I got all three sections cut out, and I apologize if I'm yelling at you because I have hearing protection in. Now I'm going to cut these foam squares out, but I'm going to try using my multi-tool and my jigsaw. I have a jigsaw and a multi-tool. I'm going to try using my jigsaw and my multi-tool. First, I'm going to try my jigsaw. I think I need a little more light on the situation. I want to see how deep this goes before I cut this one out because I have wires in there. And I have to hold it. Should have tried this first. I think this is nicer. It makes a lot less mess. All right, you see me, I just took this little tiny pry tool and pried up. I can see I missed. You can see at the bottom, there's kind of like a grid, and it didn't cut all the way down. Just gotta trim them little pieces off. I don't need that. I'm gonna take this square, take this insulation off the bottom. Hopefully that peels off there easy. Kind of peels off easy, I don't know. All right, there. Yeah, I guess that's all right. Oops, it might go this way. That. That's pretty easy. So definitely the multi-tool works really, really well. Only one is I'm gonna have to be careful of this one. So I'm gonna cut these other two out. And I'll show you, and I'm going to show you the depth. I'm going to take my tape measure and measure down in there, just in case you do want to go that cheaper method. You'll know exactly how deep of pans you can buy. And these, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put these inside that plastic bin, just to put carpet on the bottom. That's a little scary to cut into my $50-some thousand truck. That's going to be so much nicer. There we go. It just misses them bottoms a little bit. All right, I got all three cut out, and I got this insulation stuff in the bottom of this one. I got to do these two, but I just wanted to show you how deep they are, and the carpet cut's really nice. So I know one thing, like I said, I was thinking of going the cheaper route and buying them pans. Maybe it won't look as nice, but I did see where when the guy did it, he took his pan back in here a little bit. So you could probably go back in here. Right here is where these wires are on this 2021. And they say the 2020 if you have a push button start. So just be careful of that. I didn't hit none of them wires. but they end up being right here. So I would probably be careful in this whole thing, just in case it's maybe in a different spot on yours. I hope not, but it is. Looks for me, it's right here in the, like almost in the center toward the front of the truck. And then there is like a plug here that does go to the bottom of the truck. I seen another guy show that. And it looks like there's another one right over. There's another one maybe right there. Yeah, in case you need to run a wire to the bottom of your truck. I was thinking of putting some airbags on this truck and maybe putting an air compressor in here somewhere. So I don't know, maybe I'll put that in here later. Let me put this across here. Try to do the high spots. Yeah, 2.5 inch works really good for this one. That works good, 2.5 inches. Let's see this one. If you don't have them wires, I think you could get away with 2.5 inches here too, probably. It's a little tighter though. If they have a pan that's 2 inches deep in this middle, I think I would go with that. Unless you want, like, if you do watch other videos, like I'm going to put in my description, that guy does get deeper pans and they just stick up above this a little bit. Let me measure that one. This is probably the same. Yeah, 2.5 inches works good in that too. So if you could find a pan that's like 2 1/4, 2.5 inches deep, they would work in these end ones easy. In that middle, like I said, maybe a 2-inch pan, unless you don't have that wires. You might be able to go, I don't know, I would still maybe go for like a 2 1/4 inch deep, unless you don't mind it sticking up. If you watch that guy's video, he does make them a little tight so they stick up and they fit in there tight. All right, I got all that insulation ripped off the back of the carpet. You just got to kind of just do it a little bit at a time and it does come off. And I laid it down in there. And I'm even going over those wires. Pretty much that plastic box. Hopefully this fits in here. Let me lay the plastic container in here. Oh, there we go. Slides right over there. Oh, it's easy. Look at that. Still fits tight even though there's plastic in there. That's awesome. Wonderful. I kind of think my umbrella will still fit back here. Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah, you put your seat down, it pushes it down a little bit. So that's wonderful. All right, these little pieces of cardboard don't fit down in there. They're a little bit big. So I found just take some scissors, if you have some decent scissors, and cut them smaller. So that's what I'm doing. And if you have like marker marks on them, you could try to cut that mark off that you put on with a marker. It's really not that hard to cut with scissors. And then just trim the corners off a little. That. Like that. And they should lay down in there. I think that'll work. All right, this is what it looks like with the carpet in there. Just got to keep trimming it back a little bit at a time, cut the corners out. Fits in there nice. I think this is probably my most favorite thing that I added to my Tundra since I've had it. Because that was really stupid that Toyota didn't put storage under these seats. All right, I put some of the stuff back in my truck and I seem to definitely have more space now. There's actually, I could put maybe a couple pair of gloves in there. I still put my straps back behind it because stuff still fits behind them. And then I have, that's like an old Polypro from my Army days. I just keep in there in case, you know, I get stranded or somebody gets stranded and they need to stay warmer. I got my raincoat and my umbrella does still fit back behind there, right in that little groove. And that's another raincoat. I probably don't need that in there. But I have this whole empty spot. That's about it for this storage container. I will have a link to this, like I said, down in my description, along with everything else that I did show you in the beginning of this video. I hope you got some tips. I definitely tried to give you some tips that I had never seen anybody else show. So if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. leave me a comment down below, and I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. God bless and have a great day.